everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Infiniti and today I am back with another Continental knitting stitch tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to knit the chain cable. I absolutely love cables, as you may or may not know, so this one was no different. I love how fun these interwoven stitches are, and I think this would make the absolute perfect last minute scarf, especially if it was paired with a chunky yarn. If you typically enjoy my knitting tutorials, then go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content, and stick around to the end of the video if you'd like to learn how to crochet from me. Alright, without further ado, let's dive into this tutorial. Alright, we are going to start off with a slip knot here, and we want to cast on in multiples of 11 plus 3. Then we're going to add 2 stitches for selvage on the ends. So I think for my swatch I did 22, 25, 27. So we're going to roll with that. Currently I am just doing a regular long tail cast on, but if you have a different cast on method that you prefer, then feel free to use that as well. (26) and 27. Alright, now that I have my cast on row, I'm going to work on row 1, which is the right side of my work, so I'm going to turn my work. And what I'm going to do is work a selvage stitch, and you can either slip that or knit that. Usually I'll try to slip my edge stitches just because it makes it neater. Okay, now we are going to dive directly into the repeat for this row, which is purl 3, knit 8 into the last 4 stitches. So I'm going to bring my yarn forward, and we are going to insert our needle purlwise. Purl 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, move the yarn back to the back. We are going to knit the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right, we're going to bring the yarn back to the front so we can start our repeat again. Purl 3, 1, 2, and 3. Knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And here I'm at the end of my row. I only have 4 stitches remaining. So what we're going to do to end this row is to purl 3. So bring the yarn forward. 1, 2, and 3. And then we have our selvage stitch, and because I slipped my first stitch, I'm just going to knit this off my needle. Okay? And this is row 1, aka the right side of your work. I don't typically put a stitch marker on the right side or the wrong side of this stitch because it becomes very evident very early on which side is the proper side of the work. Alright, now on to row 2. row 2 and every even row follows the same stitch pattern. So we're going to turn our work, and basically we're going to knit the knits and purl the purls. Here I'm going to bring my yarn forward. Since I knit the last stitch, it looks like a purl stitch on the wrong side, so I'm going to just slip it off purlwise. Okay, and then the next 3 stitches look like knit stitches, so I'm going to knit all 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm going to bring my yarn forward because the next 8 stitches, we knit them in the last row, but they look like purls on this side, so we're going to purl all 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now we are back at the beginning of our repeat, so we're going to knit the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, and I'm going to bring the yarn forward, and we're going to purl the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 8. Right. Gonna knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gonna bring the yarn forward and purl the last stitch of this row. Alright, and this is what it looks like on the back. This is what it looks like on the front. Alright, row 3 is where the fun begins. So again, we're going to work our edge stitch. So for me, I'm going to slip that knitwise. We're going to bring the yarn forward, and we're going to start our repeat. So we're going to purl these first 3 stitches. Okay, now we are going to start cabling. So across the next 4 stitches, we are going to do a left cross cable. So I'm going to bring in my cable needle here. And I'm going to, this one's a simpler one, so I'm just going to insert this cable needle into 2 of these stitches and pull them off of my left needle. And I'm going to drop them to the front of my work. Okay, and then I'm going to simply knit the next 2 stitches. So 1, and there is 2. Okay, then I'm going to bring the cable needle back up so that I can knit those 2 stitches off of the cable needle. There's 1, and there is 2. Okay, and now we are going to do 4 right cross stitches. So we are going to pick our cable needle back up. We're going to slide those first 2 stitches onto it, and we're going to drop it to the back of the work. So hopefully a little bit more out of the way. Back of the work. And we are now going to knit the next 2 stitches, which will draw them over to the right hand side. It's always fun to notice. 1, 2. Now we're going to bring the cable needle back up and we're going to knit those 2 stitches off of the cable needle. Alright, and that is our repeat for the row. So now we are going to simply bring the yarn forward. We're going to purl the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to cable across these next 4 stitches with a left crossed cable. So gonna get these 2 off and drop the needle to the front of the work. One. And 2. And we're going to bring these stitches back up so we can knit them off of this cable needle. Now usually I prefer a cable needle that has a steeper curve in it than this one, because it really holds the stitches and can kind of weight them down, keep them out of your way, and you don't have to worry about losing the cable needle or the stitches as you work your other 2 stitches across the cable. Some people will also use DPNs that are made out of wood because they have more grab to them. It's just a material thing. Anyway, now that we have done our left cross cable, we are going to come in and do our right cross cable. So that means we're going to slip these 2 stitches off onto our cable needle. Like that. And now I'm going to knit the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Alright, now we're going to bring this cable needle back so we can knit these 2 stitches. So there's 1 and 2. Alright, now I'm at the end of my row, so I can purl these 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and I'm simply going to knit my edge stitch on the end. Alright, and this is what row 3 looks like. So now I'm going to turn my work, bring my yarn forward because I'm going to work the edge stitch, and it looks like a purl. So again, all even rows, you're going to knit the knits and purl the purls. So my edge stitch looks like a purl on this side, so I'm going to slip it purlwise. Bring my yarn back to the back. Going to knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm going to bring my yarn forward, and I know I cabled up 8 stitches last row with knit stitch, so they look like purls on this side. I'm going to purl all 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 2, 3, and bring the yarn back to the front for my next set of purl stitches. Alright, and now I'm at the last 4 stitches of my row, so I'm going to simply knit the last 3, and I'm going to purl that edge stitch. Purl. And this is what the back of the work looks like, and even from the back you can start to tell how our little rings here are forming. So on the front side we have these half rings, these half chains, little arches at the bottom, which is really cool to see. And now we're going to start building up into opening the next set of chains. So now for row 5 we're going to go ahead and work our selvage stitch. Slip my knitwise. Okay, and I'm going to bring my yarn forward. We're going to purl 5. Starting our repeat, we're going to purl 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and now we are going to knit 4. 1. Let's not split our yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, now we're going to purl 2. 1 and 2. Okay, and this is what that looks like so far. Okay, and now we are ready to start our repeat again. So I'm going to purl 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's get that 5th one, 5. Okay, going to now bring the yarn back to the back. We're going to knit 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we are going to now purl 2. 1, 2, and when you reach the end of your row, you should have 3 purl stitches and your edge stitch left. So we're going to purl those 3. 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to knit my edge stitch. And this is what the front of our work now looks like. Okay, so now row 6, even row. Again, we're going to knit the knits and purl the purls. So this is going to look a little different this time because we shifted how we worked our stitches. So those first 4 stitches look like knit stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then those 2 purl stitches, they look like knit stitches. 1, 2. So we just knit 5. Now we're going to purl across the next few stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Oops. I goofed up. So if you goof up, when you pull your stitches apart, you can see how this one looks like a knit stitch here on the back. And so you can just simply stick your left needle back into it and pull out that strand to fix that. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These next 5 stitches are knit stitches because they were purl stitches on the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then these two, you kind of have to pull them down to see them, but they also look like knit stitches. So we are at the center there where we ended on a purl 2 and then purl 5. So we have 2 extra knit stitches here to work. Okay. Now we are going to purl the next 4 stitches. Remembering our symmetry. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright? And you remember we started the last row with a purl 5, so that means we're going to be knitting 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to purl this edge stitch here. Okay. That was the end of row 6. This is what it looks like on the back. And this is what it looks like on the front here. Okay, now we are on to row 7. For row 7, we are going to work the edge stitch. I'm going to bring the yarn forward and we are going to start our repeat of purl 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're going to do 4 right cross cables. Okay, so now we're going to do a right cross cable across 4 stitches. So yeah, and I'm going to get these first 2 guys off of here. And I'm going to drop this cable needle to the back of my work, which was a lot less fiddly this go around. Okay, and we are going to not lose our stitches. But we are going to knit the next 2 stitches. And 2. Alright, and now we are going to go ahead and knit these off the cable needle here. Alright, and now we are going to work a left cross cable across the next 4 stitches. So again, we're going to slip these first 2 stitches off, drop them to the front, and we are going to knit the first 2. And we're going to bring our cable needle back to work those stitches off of there. So you'll notice as you continue to work the pattern. If you have a cable needle like the one I'm using, it becomes easier to hold both the cable needle and the work so you don't drop it like I did a moment ago. But alright. And now we've done that, and we are at the end of our repeat, so we're going to bring the yarn back to the front, and we're going to purl 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to work our cables again. So again, gonna work some right crosses here. Okay, I'm going to knit the next 2 stitches. Okay, that was our right cross. Now we're going to do a left cross. There's 1, 2. Come here. There we go. There's 1. And there's 2. Alright. And now we are toward the end of our row, so we are going to purl the last 3 stitches and then work our edge stitch. 1, 2, and knit the last stitch. Right? And this is the end of row 7. Now, again, row 8 is another of those knit the knits and purl the purls kind of rows. So, just going to slip this first one purlwise. Right? Going to knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Right, now we are going to purl the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now we are going to knit the next 3. There's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to purl the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now I'm at my last 4 stitches, so I'm going to knit the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to bring my yarn forward to purl my edge stitch here. Okay. And that is the end of row 8. And I love these little O's on the back. It's not a reversible stitch, but I really like how they look. Which is kind of pointless to mention, but anyway, this is the front of the work. And so this is an 8-row repeat, so you would just repeat rows 1 through 8 over and over again until you got the little chains. So I'm going to do another repeat so you can see what that looks like in this color swatch, and I'll meet you back then. Alright, I have worked up an extra repetition of this stitch pattern, and this is what it comes to start looking out like. Very similar to this one. I just worked a different kind of cast on with this one, but I absolutely love how this looks. The funky patterning makes me think of like something from the 70s. I don't know if I'm shooting around in the dark there, but I think adding in some interesting variegated yarns with this cable pattern would be really fun in a sweater or a scarf. I hope this video was helpful for you all today. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on future knitting content from me. This video is going up in December of 2023. This is my last knitting tutorial for the year, so I hope you guys have enjoyed tuning in with me over the last year. It's been very fun coming up with all these different video ideas and working these stitch patterns with you. If you're a knitter and you are interested in learning how to crochet, I recently released a ultimate beginner crochet course on my website. I will leave it linked in the description box below, so if you want to support my content outside of the YouTube channel and enable me to create more of this content in the future, you can sign up for that. There's either a one-off option, or you can gain access to this crochet program via my pattern club, Hey Crafterpreneur. That subscription will give you access to the left and the right hand version of that course. Also, it will give you access to all of my written crochet and knitting patterns, so you have something cool to practice on. I want to thank you all for tuning in today, and until next time, happy making.